Hello again, everybody. Zach Attack is here with my NFL Super Bowl 49 review for tonight, Super Sunday, February the 1st, 2015. Alright. Let me just get this out of the way first. When it comes to the game, way more exciting and close game than last year. It wasn't a blowout. It wasn't a blowout. Last year at that safety in the first half of the game, Broncos played shitty for the rest of the game, but this game was very close, back and forth. And the last two plays of the game is what everybody is going to be talking about. What a finish. Two plays. One play we thought was going to be a comeback victory, and then the next play, it was all gone in an instant. What a finish. You saw by the title of the video. We, of course, got the champs. Being, of course, cheaters or not, Deflategate or not, the New England Patriots. Yes, indeed. They won the game. This is the first. It's ironic, isn't it, that the New England Patriots were the last team to repeat as Super Bowl champions 10 years ago. And they were the team to prevent the Seahawks from being the champs again. We also had a great, amazing spectacle, and that's a key word, spectacle of the halftime show with Katy. I knew she was going to deliver. Even if you don't like her music, you got to admit her show was spectacular. I'll get to that. Plus, there was some decent fun commercials tonight. So overall, a great night. The biggest sports night of the year. So let's get on with the game first. My thoughts on the game. It was close from the get-go. There was only like one play that was kind of questionable. That was the play in the first quarter of the game. It was in the first drive for New England when it was like blocking the passer or blocking the kicker. Should have been like a 15-yard penalty in the first down, but ended up being a fourth down or a first down that Seattle that was like the only questionable call, but still, it didn't ruin the game because there was a lot of highlights. The first half, it was all New England. For at least the first quarter and a half, New England outran the Seahawks. It felt almost like the Green Bay game all over again. When Seattle had to make the comeback in the Green Bay game. You know what I mean? With New England scoring the first TD, and they were running the ball better. Like both sides of the field, they were playing really better. Even after Tom Brady threw an interception, Seattle didn't capitalize because Russell Wilson had no completions at all in that first quarter. He played really rough in that first quarter because New England was just dominating that first quarter, getting, of course, a 7-0 lead head towards the second quarter. That's when Seattle came alive in the second quarter after fumbling through the first quarter. And I do mean fumbling with a lot of missed passes. It took one big long pass from Russell Wilson to a guy named Chris Matthews, a guy that until tonight was a no-name. That's what the Super Bowl's all about. Not only making already big names, legends, but making legends out of guys you would never expect. And Chris Matthews was, in many people's eyes, one of the star players of the game because he caught that big, long pass from Mr. Russell Wilson, which led to the touchdown from Marshawn Lynch. Oh, my dude! Indeedy. And then, of course, went down to a 7-0 game, a 7-tied game, until, of course, the Pats came flying back, getting the 14-7. I think that was Gronk's touchdown. Gronk scored a couple. But then, of course, came the end of the second quarter. Seattle had the ball. This is after New England got ahead by 7 minutes, 14-7. And it was, like I said, 7-14. Seattle was in the goal line. They were having a good drive. Another long pass again from Mr. Wilson. They had a decision to make. Go for a field goal, at least be down by 3 or be down by 4. Or go for it with 6 seconds left and got to go for a TD. 6 seconds left in the second quarter. They gambled. They decided to go for the attempt at the touchdown. And the gamble paid off. Yes. The gamble paid off. Bang. Touchdown, 14-14 at the end of the first half. They didn't score much till the second quarter. First quarter was scoreless. Then New England scored first in the second. And then New England went up 14-7 after the first touchdown from Seattle. And of course, Seattle made that gamble for the touchdown at the end of the second. Tied 14-all. And the momentum that the Seattle Seahawks had going out of the first half sped right into the second half start. They got a field goal in the first drive of the game of the half. And then bang, touchdown again from Chris Matthews. He got the second touchdown of the game. Another big play. More big plays from Wilson. He played really well in that second half. Better. Like he had a rough stuff in the first half. Like I said, first quarter he didn't feel so good. He had a lot more. Didn't have any completions like mostly in the second quarter. But then, like I said, after that big play at the end of the second quarter, momentum shifted to the Seahawks, who had the lead, 24-14. Got the field goal and of course the touchdown. But the Pats weren't done yet. They might have been down, but they weren't out. Actually, I think Matthews caught a touchdown, and so did Doug Baldwin. And that was a touchdown when Mr. Richard Sherman, who did play in the Super Bowl. A lot of people were questioning whether or not he was going to play or not because of the impending birth of his newborn child. He was at the game, and they caught him on camera taunting one of the Pats players after the Doug Baldwin touchdown, coming from another Pats interception, because he scored the field goal, Seattle did. Then Pats had the ball back, and it was another interception. I think Matthews caught that as well, or someone else did. But that's what gave the third touchdown for the Seattle Seahawks after the interception from Brady, leading to the 24-14 lead in the Sherman taunt after the Doug Baldwin catch. And then, in the fourth quarter, New England got to work. They knew they were down by 10 as we got to the fourth quarter. And like I said, Gronk got that touchdown that got the down back in the game, 21-24, down by 3. Down by 3. Ladies and gentlemen, down by 3. Seattle could not get any more points on the board, which got the ball back to the Pats. And of course, they got another touchdown in the fourth quarter, making it 28-24 as we head towards the last 2 minutes of the game, which led towards the last few minutes of the fourth quarter were just intense. Seattle knew they could not get a field goal. They could not get a field goal because it would have been 27-28. And Seattle had a good drive, the last drive of the game. Within the last 2 minutes of the game after the New England Patriots got the lead with 28-21. 24-21, 28 was the final score, though. Like I said, 21-24 as the... it was 28-24. 20-24. Seattle with the ball, and they had a good drive, heading towards the end of the 2-minute warning. Another big long catch from Wilson. Once Wilson got on it, he made some great moves. But a great move and a bad mistake is what everybody's going to remember. 2 plays of the game. The last 2 plays of the game. One play that almost got Seattle the victory, and the next play took those dreams a repeat away. A big, big catch to Krause. The play was very close. I thought it hit the ground, but the Krause guy had the ball. I thought the ball hit the ground. The ball was in the air, and he still had it in possession and never hit the ground. So that was like I said, the top 2 plays of the game were the last 2 plays. was that big catch from Krause. Big catch, which set up Seattle for a great comeback attempt. And it looked like I said, that one play after that big catch from Krause, questionable almost, it almost hit the ground, but it never did. Seen from replay. Set up Seattle for a big opportunity after that big catch. But after that big play, came another big play that would cost Seattle the entire game. Russell Wilson made a timely, costly, some would call it a rookie mistake. He had done so well in the second half after having a rough start in the first, but the last play of the game was what everyone's going to remember, that he almost threw the game away. It's one of those moments that's going to be played over and over again, like the missed field goal in Super Bowl 25, that missed field goal for the Buffalo Bills. The moment of a big mistake that's going to be played over and over again. That's going to haunt Seattle all season. That was the last second interception. Just after that big play from Krause that set up Seattle in the goal line, a bad timed throw mistake got the New England Patriots the ball, intercepted by New England. New England won the game after that huge interception, the last play of the game. That's what everyone's going to be forward to the most. The last two plays of the game. The play that almost gave Seattle the win, and then the play that cost Seattle the game. That timely, costly interception. And Seattle's frustrations were not too plays, as we saw after the interception when New England had the ball again. There was a near brawl. Some guy slapped the hell out of Gronk. And then there was a big melee. There was like a big fight after the interception. Seattle was like frustrated. You know? Couldn't blame Seattle for being angry, but they should have handled it differently. Like, tensions were high, but they should have been fighting like that. They're going to call them sore losers. A lot of people are going to call them sore losers because they physically fought the New England Patriots after the interception. You know, they were frustrated. They want to take out their frustrations, and one of them did by making Gronk. And we had a big melee in the end zone. A lot of flags were thrown. So there you go. Big finish. Great finish, man. You know, it was interesting to see New England, despite all the distractions, despite the big scandal deflate game. New England still played hard and they won the game. We'll find out later on if the balls were fully inflated or not. But it was a neutral game site, so the balls were probably inflated. But it was a tough game. Like I said, it was more exciting than last year. Like, the game was more exciting than last year. Last year was more like a blowout. But I was going to feel sorry for the Seahawks. I even predicted the Seahawks to win. So I thought, hey, I was rooting for the Seahawks because I wanted to see a repeat for the first time in years. But something like them now after they were kind of sore losers after they just fought the hell out of New England. They let their frustrations out and punched the hell out of the New England guys. Kind of a rough way to end your season, boys. And they both teams had rough seasons. You know, who would have thought these two who had rough starts, like New England got their asses stomped by the Kansas City Chiefs, that big shellacking on Sunday Night Football, which many people thought Brady should have been traded, but then they had a great rest of the second half of the season. Same Seahawks, they both had tension-filled seasons. Seattle had a rough start, and then they had a great finish, despite the finish in the Super Bowl, but still. And for Pats fans, it's relief that finally, not only the New England Patriots became the team that stopped another team from repeating, because they were the last team to repeat. They finally won a Super Bowl. This is the third Super Bowl in 10 years since they repeated. They lost twice to the Giants. They finally won a Super Bowl for once, despite all the distractions of Deflategate. So there you go with that. Good game to Seattle go, but too bad you had to spoil it in the end by your sore loser mentality after you beat up the Pats at the end zone after the big interception that cost him the game. That moment's going to be replayed in Russell Wilson's head for the entire postseason. That play, that last play, when that interception was thrown to the Pats player. Costly, timely, rookie mistake. Bang. Bang, bang, bang. Cost them. Big time. Big time. I'm like making this review while watching the post game. And I think the MVP of the game, I think it's Tom Brady, I think it's Brady. Yep, Tom Brady is the MVP. Love him or hate him, Deflategate scandal or not, he did lead his team to a big comeback. Although the guy who caught the interception in the end might have been MVP, but still, great comeback. Flip pass after had the lead and got back the lead. And they did outplay the Seattle most of the game. Seattle had some lucky shots. That's what everyone's worried about Seattle. They had some lucky plays. New England outplayed them. It took some lucky plays for Seattle to get back in the game. And it took one unlucky play to cost them the game. So they agree with that. That's my thoughts on the exciting game, better than the blowout from last year. And Brady, I think, tied Joe Montana 12 TD passes in his Super Bowl history. And Belichick won 4 Super Bowls, tied with another coach. And I think Brady won his 4th as well. Now, on to my thoughts on the halftime show. Katy Perry, I knew she was going to deliver. And boy, did she. I'm a disc jockey. I love all music. Pop music, rock music, all that stuff. NFL's aiming toward the younger audience in people's eyes. Hey, they want the halftime show for everybody because the game is for the men. That's why they have been getting a lot more younger artists to do the halftime show. I thought Bruno, when it comes to showmanship, Bruno was a better show because of showmanship and musicianship. But when it comes to just pure spectacle, pure entertainment, pure everything, exciting sets, that belonged to Katy Perry in my mind. One of the most spectacular halftime shows I've seen. And I love Madonna's halftime show from a couple years back. But Katy Perry blew Madonna out of the water for 2 very important reasons. Better songs, she did more older songs, and better staging. Because I saw Katy Perry on a Prismatic World Tour last year, and I knew when I heard she was going to do the halftime show, I knew that her stage show was going to be excellent. From the beginning of the show, it was pure evident that it was going to be a spectacular show. The staging was awesome. She entered on like a big, well, some would say tiger, some would say lion, especially making lines at Super Bowl jokes. Well, of course, me being from Detroit and all. Then finally, we have a lion in the Super Bowl. Maybe one day, Detroit Lions fans. Maybe one day, if the referees don't blow the games again against you. Anyway, I love the set list, though. I love the songs that Katy picked. The only questionable one was I Kissed the Girls. I was surprised she did that. I did not think she was going to kiss the girl. She kicked off with Warm on a big tiger, lion, what you may call it, wearing a hot, flaming outfit that kind of looked like Bam Bam Bigelow's outfit and Harlem Heat's outfits. Maybe a wrestling fan that comment about that. Then she went on to Dark Horse, and I love that she had a big oval, kind of like Madonna staging. Because Madonna staging had like the big graphics on the screen. And the stage looked like a big chessboard with the digital screen on the field and all. The effects were awesome with that chess effect. And then Lenny Kravitz came out for I Kissed the Girl. Now, I like Lenny Kravitz, but that was the only blemish in the halftime show. There's the only quip about it that I have. I think 2 things. Lenny should have been on a little bit longer. And 2, they should have picked a better song. Like, you did okay I Kissed the Girl, but they should have done American Woman. Even Fly Away would have been better than him doing I Kissed a Girl. He wasn't even in the show that long. No. That was the only down about the show. And a minor one at that. Because the rest of the show was spectacular, especially when she went into a medley form of 2 Teenage Dream songs, the title song and California Girls. The staging of that with the beats there with the inflatable plants and stuff and the talking, dancing sharks. Katy said in a press conference that she was going to have lions and sharks in the show. She had a lion to begin the show with. Then she had dancing, singing sharks and these inflatable stuff. And of course, everybody wanted to wardrobe malfunction because Katy's pretty hot. But I will give Katy credit for making it a family-friendly halftime show because there was no suggested clothing, because she was known for suggested clothing in the past. She kept her shirt on. And I loved her outfits. The colorful beach ball outfit and the California Girls Teenage Dream segment was great. But then came, of course, the big surprise guest that Katy hinted towards. The surprise female throwback. Now, I said on one of my videos that I thought it would be Cyndi Lauper. But then it leaked. The guest leaked. I wish the guest wasn't leaked, that it was a pure surprise. But no internet these days, there's going to be something leaking about everything. They're trying to keep it secret, but it's going to leak out eventually. And it was Missy Elliott. And she said faces will go to melt. Well, see from my Facebook tweet Facebook feed and Twitter feed. Sorry to mention that. Social media shit. Faces did melt. Like I said, I love music. And it was cool to see Missy Elliott out there. She got more time than Lenny. And everyone thought Missy stole the show. She actually did kind of. I love Katy, and Missy was great too. See, Katy said that she made the choice about another guest hard. She made a thoughtful decision on another guest to make Missy in because she collaborated with Missy on a remix of Last Friday Night. Would have loved to have heard that song though, but still, the song she did pick was great. Being a disc jockey, she picked all the number one hits. Even though I Kiss the Girl was the only questionable choice. Being NFL and all, being all family friendly. That's really quick. But Katy said in the press conference she wanted to give this throwback artist some shine. Missy hasn't been in the spotlight in a long time. From the first swing of Get Your Freak On, bang! Missy stole the show and Katy looked great with that oversized jersey doing a move. And it was like a mini Missy medley with her best songs, Get Your Freak On, Work It, and Lose Control. I'm a disc jockey, like I said, who likes sports. And this is my 10-year anniversary of DJing, a decade of attack, as I call it. And when I started DJing 10 years ago, Lose Control was like one of my favorite first songs that I actually liked to play. And I love playing Lose Control. And that's what's going to happen. Missy's going to benefit the most because a lot of people will be buying her songs on iTunes because she got the spotlight back on her and she looked really good. She kind of lip-synced. Katy sung live. People thought Katy was lip-syncing. She sung to a backing track. They had a band on the side. But Katy's vocals were live, in my humble opinion. She's not the best vocalist in the world, but she was great singing-wise. Especially the exit for Firework. On a shooting star, because she said no entrance and exit would be nothing you've seen before. The entrance was great with her winding it on a tiger, lion, what you want to call it, and coming in on a big shooting, flying star in the Fireworks spectacle. I knew she was going to end with Firework. I think a lot of people thought it was kind of predictable. But hey, it was fun predictable because Fireworks is a very anthemic song to end the show with. She ends her shows with that all the time. Knowing from personal experience at the scene of Prismatic War Tour. And I think the stage show was almost as good or even better than a spectacular stage show for the Prismatic War Tour. But the shooting star in many people's eyes reminded people of the More You Know campaign from, ironically, NBC, because NBC was airing the Super Bowl. They made it more ironic that Katy's shooting star reminded people of the More You Know campaign from NBC. So there it goes. Spectacular stage show. Even if you don't like Katy Perry, even if you don't like pop music, I would like to see more rock people. Yes, I'm a rock and roller at heart. I would like to see Aerosmith one day do halftime. Because Steven Tyler was there. I was like, hey, maybe Aerosmith would be good halftime. But for what it was, being a guy who likes all sorts of music, like I said, I'm a disc jockey, Katy was a spectacular show, and you have to admit, if you don't like her music, you just have to admit, Katy was a spectacular show. Great effects. Some said the sound mixing sucked. Fuck you. The sound mixing was awesome in that. And I'm a sound guy. My dad's a sound guy in shows. Just the fact they put that production on with the amount of time they had to set it up was amazing in itself. They only had like 10 minutes to set it up and 10 seconds to take it, 10 minutes to set it down. They did a great spectacular show. You have to call it entertaining, even if you don't like Katy Perry. You have to admit the stage show was excellent. So there goes. Spectacular halftime from Katy Perry. Now, on to the other part of the Super Bowl. There's 3 parts of the Super Bowl that people like to comment on, including myself. The game, which I did. The halftime show, which I did. What haven't I commented on yet? Oh, the commercials. It was a mixed bag. I have my own little fake awards. Worst commercial of the entire Super Bowl. And most distasteful. Nationwide Insurance. They had those fun commercials with Peyton Manning, but I think they lost all of their goodwill in airing a commercial in a Super Bowl about childhood deaths. Really? Really? You want to bum out an entire crowd who's watching the game by airing a commercial about childhood deaths? Come on, very distasteful. Let me say this. I know they were trying to get the message across, like protect your kids, but they did not have to go that route. Good message, but bad execution of it. Speaking of bad execution, a commercial that had a great build-up, but bad execution was the Skittles commercial. Like these guys were arm wrestling and everybody was muscled up. Like they had great build-up, but the payoff was not good. They should have had, like, when the guys were arm wrestling, like his arm would have exploded. Or something more entertaining than just one guy winning. Like, the payoff wasn't huge, in my humble opinion, when it comes to Skittles commercial. Most boring commercial, TurboTax commercial was kind of boring to me. Didn't do anything for me. I didn't like Kim Kardashian's commercial. I'm sorry, I'm not the biggest Kim Kardashian fan. T-Mobile commercial sucked because Kim Kardashian was in it. Slut. The first Nationwide commercial was great though, with the chick from the Mini Project. But like I said, they lost all goodwill with that distasteful commercial. Everyone was like bitching about the Nationwide commercial. Speaking about bitching, most clever and most heart-stopping commercial, which basically stopped a lot of hearts beating. Chevy's commercial, the fake TV going out commercial. Even I was fooled. Everybody was fooled by this Chevy commercial. It was very clever. Whether you loved or hated it was still kind of clever. You know, even if it would make change your mind about Chevy trucks by almost playing a nasty trick on you, it was better than the Nationwide commercial, but still, it was kind of a nasty trick to do, but it was still cleverly done, though, by Chevy. I didn't like Weight Watchers commercial. Why was that in the Super Bowl at all? The Scum commercial was pointless. And another one I didn't like, but here's ones I did like. I put them in two categories: great and just okay. The great commercials. The Toyota commercials were pretty interesting commercials. With the first one in the first quarter with the girl who had prosthetic legs go through her journey with quotes from Muhammad Ali. That was kind of a cool commercial. BMW was kind of fun with talking about Katy Couric and the Bryant Gumbel guy. Talking about the internet 20 years ago. Like, what's the internet? What's the act? And then 20 years later, they're in it. Like a hybrid car. It was kind of funny. The Electric Avenue portion was awesome. I picked some commercials because of the fun music. Which, I did like a couple with the commercials, with the music. Music choices were pretty good. Snickers always had great commercials in Super Bowl, especially using celebrity. Some of these videos were on the internet. I didn't see them. I did not want to see any of the commercials on the internet. You know, a lot of people did, but I didn't see anything. I saw like pictures of the commercials, but I didn't see any of the commercials until tonight. I didn't watch them on the internet because some of them came out early. But Snickers commercial with the Brady Bunch thing, with putting in Danny Trujillo, putting that guy in that as Marshall Brady, that was kind of funny. And Steve Buscemi being Jan. Marsha Much, like, you're not you when you're hungry, does a funny commercial there. The Chevy commercials were kind of clever, especially the one that the TV went out. That's kind of clever. Budweiser commercial with the Clydesdales, always a highlight of the Super Bowl because they're always heartfelt and touching. And this one was no exception. I like commercials because of great music, and I like the subtle, slowed down version of "I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles" by the Proclaimers. And the story was touching with the dog. Like, it always involves a dog and a horse. It's always heartfelt. It's always different every year. Even though involving the same animals, it's still kind of heartfelt and touching to see every year. It's always a look forward to highlight in Super Bowl when it comes to commercials. The Clydesdale commercials from Budweiser. Speaking of look forward to every year, Bud Light commercial was pretty good. The Up for Whatever. I like this year's better than last year's. With the human Pac-Man, that was kind of cool to see. The Up for that was kind of cool commercial. Like I said, the first Nationwide with Mindy Kaling was good, but the second one just left a bad taste in everyone's mouths, including me. Coke's commercial was kind of clever. It's kind of weird that Pepsi sponsored the halftime show, yet there was a Coke commercial in it. With Coke, with all this hate. When I saw, like, I hate you, you're ugly, I was like, this ain't going to go far. After that child death thing with Nationwide, I thought it would be one of those commercials make you feel bummed out. But then after that Coke spill with that spreading happiness, because that's Coke's slogan, is spread happiness. That was kind of a clever thing with the Coke spilling and spreading the love instead of the hate. That was kind of a cool, clever commercial, kind of a love commercial. Kind of like McDonald's doing that. Like, McDonald's had like kind of commercial like spreading the love too, but Coke had better execution of that. A lot of movie trailers tonight. A lot of movie commercials. So my favorite movie commercials. Furious 7. It was kind of weird to see the Furious 7 trailer knowing that Paul Walker's dead. A lot of people probably felt emotional because of the death of Paul Walker. But it was kind of a cool commercial. I saw Fast 5. Fast 5 was pretty good. I didn't see Fast 6 yet. I need to before I want to see Furious 7. Kind of a weird title, but still. Fast and Furious always having weird titles for their movies. Rock's back in it. Even the guy from the Transporter's in it. Jason Statham's in it. That's gonna be interesting to see him in the Fast and Furious trilogy. Kind of a decent movie commercial. Another great movie commercial I liked was Pitch Perfect 2. I saw the trailer for it a while ago. It looked pretty good, especially if my mom is a big Packer fan. I watched it with my family tonight. My mom's a big Packer fan. More specifically, if you see any of my sports videos, I talk about my mom's love of football crush, Clay Matthews, who is in the movie. And I saw him in the teaser trailer, but he didn't sing in the trailer. Yeah, he did sing in this commercial. Is it his real voice or not? We shall see. So there you go. That was another fun trailer, seeing a more cohesive song in the Pitch Perfect trailer. And the Ted, man, it's just me over all the great movie commercials coming from Universal. Ted 2, I saw the trailer last week, which I made a review about on my last Attack Line. Cheap plug. But this new Ted 2 trailer had Tom Brady in it. That was kind of funny to see him in it. It was a fun trailer for the Ted. I'm looking for the Ted 2. I love the first Ted, so I'm looking forward to Ted 2. It not only was the good trailer, it's just me almost every other movie trailer about sequels. So there you go. That's America for you these days. You had a lot of car commercials. My favorites were, besides the Toyota one, Nissan, using Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. Once again, liking it because of the choice of music. But the story was great too. You know, they go by the song. Like, we'll be together then. But Dad, who's away a lot, he's a race car driver in this trailer. It was kind of a cool heartfelt commercial as well. Fiat's commercial was decent too, I think. Mercedes commercial with the bunny and the tortoise. The tortoise and the good old tortoise and the hare thing. Been seeing that commercial tease for the last couple of days. And it was a cool, fancy commercial with the turtle being slow at first, but they got a Mercedes went faster than the bunny. That was kind of fun commercial. The insurance commercial was pretty good. I didn't like Lindsay Lohan's commercial that much, but I liked the insurance one with Walter White from Breaking Bad. That was kind of cool. That was kind of funny to see him with them selling these drugs, because of course you know he's weak. And of course he had the "What's my name" line, one of his famous lines in the show. That was kind of cool to see Walter White from Breaking Bad in that insurance commercial, probably the funniest one of those commercials. The NFL commercial, the Super Bowl rally, was cool with a lot of celebrities trying to cheer on their team, including Britney Spears was in that commercial. It was kind of a cool, fun commercial promoting the fans in the NFL after a rough season with scandals galore with Ray Rice and the guy from the Minnesota Vikings, Adrian Peterson, and now Deflategate. And the website commercials were kind of cool. The Square commercial with the dude, aka Jeff Daniels, making his own website with singing bells. My dad likes those singing bowls. That was kind of funny. And the Wix commercial with all these football guys making their own websites, including Immaculate Receptions with Franco Harris. No, but Immaculate Reception. That was kind of funny. It was like play on their famous things. It was kind of a fun commercial with Emmitt Smith was in it, and so was Brett Favre. That was a fun commercial. Rick's not of old time legends in the NFL. Commercial I thought was okay. Jurassic World. I never thought I'd see a Jurassic Park 4. First one was great. Second one was okay. Third one sucked. This one looks interesting with the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. We should see how it does. The Game Award app commercial with Kate Upton, aka Justin Verlander's girlfriend. They're always sexy. This one was just okay, interesting. Tomorrowland, a teaser trailer for a Disney movie. Makes sense to name another Disney movie after another Disney World attraction. They made a movie out of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. That did well. And now they're naming another Disney movie after another Disney World attraction, Tomorrowland, which is a portion of Magic Kingdom with Space Mountain and all that. I know that because I've been to Disney World. So there you go. More movie trailers I thought were just okay. Yeah, the SpongeBob trailer, SpongeBob 2, and Minions. That was kind of okay, funny. Because I never saw the Pick With Me movies. I don't want to talk about the animated movies anymore. Besides, if it's Toy Story. So there you go. The Carnival trailer was decent. Another trailer. I can't believe Arnold Schwarzenegger is still making movies. But at least he's doing Terminator 4, though. But still, he needs to retire. All his last movies have bombed. You know what I mean? Does he not get the hint? He needs to retire. Same with Sly. They had their time in the sun as action heroes. None need to go away. But at least T4 is interesting though. But still, because my brother was a huge fan of the Terminator movies. He loved T2. Like every other week, we went to the movie store when there was movie stores. He used to rent that movie like every other week. He loved Arnold in anything like T4, T2, and my brother loved Kindergarten Cop too. So he would be interested in seeing an Arnold movie. Dumb for Men was a cool, interesting commercial about being a guy who cares. But I forgot to mention, most inspirational commercial was the Always commercials. Who would have thought a commercial about a mini pad would be an inspirational with the Be Like a Girl campaign? That was kind of a cool inspirational campaign for women. And it aired right after the Katy Perry halftime. Smart placing. After a really very thematic, very female empowerment performance yet. A female empowerment commercial. Feminist? I don't think so. I've always been a fan of Doritos commercials, but I didn't like the ones they had on tonight. I didn't like the ones they had on tonight. They had I think the guacamole, avocado commercial. That was like okay. It was like the first draft. That was like okay of commercial. Like I said, I love the square one with Jeff Daniels, the dude. Hungry Howie's commercial was cool with the guy with spiky hair. I actually know that guy. I improv at a place called Go Comedy and Fun there, and that guy, his name is PJ Hoax, and he's in those commercials. I met him once, so it's kind of cool that I take improv classes at this place called Go Comedy, and the president is in these Only Harris commercials. Makes me feel proud to be part of the Go Comedy family. Another cheap plug. Let's go to Pepper Mount. The Kaiser Titans commercial with Liam Neeson was interesting. The Dodge commercial was decent. The Sprint commercial calling the other competitors jackasses. Burn! I like the Jeep one too with This Land Is Your Land. That was kind of a cool commercial too. And there was another one too I liked. But I forgot what it was. But those were the thoughts on most of the commercials I saw tonight. Decent commercials tonight. There's some good ones, there's some great ones, and just ones that were like distasteful nationwide. Nationwide, we're not on your side. And I shall end this review with this. NFL season, it's going to be stuck without football for a while. But now it's time for NFL to brush off the scandals. You know, it was a scandal-filled season. You know, and bad calls from referees. It was a rough season for the NFL. But the end of the season was really good with a great, exciting game. Very close game. My cousin's a Seahawks fan, so he's probably frustrated right now that his beloved team did not get the second championship in a row. But they were sore losers. Because they fought in the end after that big interception. So you go, great exciting game. Finally, after last year's blowout. Great exciting halftime from Katy Perry. And decent commercials. And that is it for my very lengthy Super Bowl 49 commercial. Taking place tonight from the University of Arizona. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the review from Zach. Hope everyone's staying safe out there, especially where I'm living in Michigan. We had a little bit of a snowstorm today. A lot of schools are closed, so hope everyone's staying safe out there in Michigan tonight. Staying warm, too, because it's very cold and, like I said, snowed a lot today here in Michigan. See ya! Yeah!